Student StarCraft AI Tournament replay section. We have got something new, and something new is what I should have done along with the last broadcast about new bots. And that something new isn't actually new, but it's Marek Gajdos. And Marek, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, but here we go. Marek Gajdos for today it is, and it's playing Verlab, and Verlab is playing as the yellow Terran over here, Marek Gajdos as the red Protoss over here, and I'm going to speed up the initial stages of the game a tiny little bit, because, well, what do you know, nothing much is happening, and as we can see, Marek Gajdos is very low on the APM department. That's good, although it's ramping up now to about 350 on 13 supply, going for a gate, going for a double gate. And at the other end, the scouting SCV is returning, going for barracks and a bunker. Now going for a third gate and another pylon. So one zealot on the way, probe production still going, and a cyber core, that's very good. 1, 2, 3, and one zealot out. Now this SCV is scouting a little bit more, going for another barracks, only 2 marines, and you should be able to make more marine because of this, but hey, here we go. Oh, and an academy. So I always like bots attacking up, even though it's with 2 simultaneous academies. What do you know? Have we got gas? Yes, we've got quite a bit of gas stockpile, so perhaps this is for pushing out 2 upgrades at once. And the scouting SCV having a peek, seeing the core, but with only zealots being built, and that is not really. And Verlab saying TGT point consistent, and that is very interesting information to have. TGT point consistent once again. I like these bots, the newer bots, posting things to general chat for debugging purposes. Usually you only see them at with a first person view if you are running the bots themselves. They are posting it to the game some other way, but you can also use the general chat to post debug information. And now we see the first 2 marines come over, going to have a peek at the enemy with quite a bit of zealots stockpiled and no assimilator, so this cyber core is not really going to do much. And here we go, we've got 1 marine and 1 zealot popping out. Terran marine lost, attack task removed. Very good, and now these zealots seem to have a small meeting, and only once one pops out here, it will engage these marines. These are other guys that really seem to be bent on doing much. Now, oh, I think it's too far away. They only do things on a personal basis or personal side range. No, yeah, oh, there it goes. But against 4 marines, I don't think you really can do that. And now Verlab has expanded another gas, and the main army is still lumbering around here. What's it doing with its money? I don't know. Meanwhile, a couple of marines coming out here, another zealot. TGT point consistent, Proto zealot shot down. Okay, well, that's very... if you don't want to look at all the replays, you can just use text mining to see what Protoss zealot shot down. Oh, mineral field shot down. Mineral field shot down? Where? Oh, they are mining the 0 minerals, blocking things, and they are shooting down minerals. Okay, so harvesting, depleting is also a form of shot down. Now the zealots rouse in anger, and with 80 supplies in about 20 probes and a lot of zealots. That is not really... well, it's army building, it's nation building, but it's not really doing much for you in the damage way. And now these marines are walking straight into the zealots, and I think I'm going to speed it up just a tad to... okay, third expansion. So macro-wise, it's very okay. A little bit shifty here, but well, what do you know? More barracks coming, and another string of barracks where the command center should have been. And now the marines are all in there, but of one base you can produce a lot of zealots and marines without medics, because the medics are capturing or keeping captured 1 marine here, which is turning around building placements all over the map. That's interesting. Nice to build a couple of barracks at sweep lost, scanner sweep lost, because generated and then and the mineral field shot down. Where now? Protoss probe shot down, so now they're in the no, they are not. But with this marine force, I think eventually the zealots will be depleted, because Verlabs has now got a huge economy going, and it's all over the map doing things, long distance mining. Terran Marine lost, and oh, these mineral fields are going down now. So, yeah, Marek Gajdos is just standing about, and oh, now the medics are here, that's very good. And of course these marines with the stim and with the medics are growing much more powerful, and they are mopping up everything. Now with only one single gateway remaining, and will they? Yeah, there we go. A lot of minerals stacked. If you look at Verlabs, it's got almost 8k in the bank and not even maxed. Something with the okay, Marek Gajdos was eliminated. Very good. Okay, so Verlabs we had seen earlier in the new AIs or new bots video. Marek Gajdos not so much, and I thought, well, I'd start him up versus Verlabs, which is not as strong as this gentle bot, and that gentle bot, of course, is Ice Labs. Now, Ice Labs is from the Ritsumeikan University from Japan, last updated in 2013. The project team has graduated, and there are currently no plans to develop it any further, which is a bloody shame because it's still among the very best bots, even by today's standards, and that is quite a feat. It has some high ground, low ground managing software, so it can put tanks on the high ground or in strategic positions. It does drops. It lays the absolutely mind-bogglingest beautiful minefield you can possibly imagine. Perhaps we'll see that later on. And Marek Gajdos going for well, the exact same build we saw last game. And for a starting bot, I'd say 3 gate is okay. You build units, but they should be attacking a little bit more, of course. And well, Ice Lab doing its thing, just making a pretty neat wall. It's not tight, but the surface area of this bunker is decreased, so you can't really attack it from all too many angles. And now we've got a vulture. First vulture out. More SCVs being produced, and Marek Gajdos chasing the SCV and now killing it. So again, lots of zealots, no really plans of doing any pressure. And there we go, more vultures coming up, machine shop being built, another factory, and this is going to be another factory. So lots of factories, more supply depots, build otherwise. Icebot is doing. Oh, and here come the zealots, and they are not going to the correct base. So, well, that's something, but they are attacking, and that is, as you can see, we've got about 20 here, and a couple of more on the way, and now this SCV is trading to its own base. So now it will be a, if the zealots march over, they do not. It would be a nice battle, because zealots and marines without siege mode is not. Well, you need a bit of micro to deal with so many zealots, but apparently they just have a party here, leaving Icebot to do what it does best: macro of 2 bases, siege mode coming up, spider mines coming up. Going to speed it up just a tad because, well, party here not really all that great at the moment. Oh, and here you see the minefield, and if you think, well, this is not really good, look at the minimap. The grid is well, unless there is some terrain in the way, it's absolutely perfect. Even over high, low ground, it's just one big neat grid. And you've got to respect programming that, because I don't know if it's the most efficient or if it's the most beautiful, but at least in the last case, it scores points for me. Okay, and here comes some zealots, and they are being deflected by the mines. Minefield is being repopulated, tanks coming up, and starport coming up. If you see here, these mines are placed in the position of a command center, so if a bot wants to place a town hall building hatchery, a command center or a nexus specifically here, it won't work. Oh, and that was a drop, and that was all the probes, but there are 5 queued, so I think it's not too much of a problem, unless these zealots are going off to the big party here. We've got about 40 zealots here. Now the mech push rolling in. and the minefield extending almost halfway through the map. Third base being taken, more factories and science facility. With the upgrades 1-1, of course, nothing here because no gas, and that is going to be a bit of a, well, that's a nice building placement, nice square. I don't know if that's accidental or not, and no mining out, and no more supply, so that's not going to work. Meanwhile, all the zealots here. Marek Gajdos, very well done, nice starting build, but the unit behavior could be, how do we say, updated a little bit. So we had one more bot I forgot last time. Again, sorry, Marek Gajdos. Sorry. And that was Jacob Knudsen, and he is here. And Jacob Knudsen is saying hello world and posting the Brute War API version, and that is something that's in the in the Brute War API basic bot thing. And only 4 probes. Okay, so now they only mining off 3 patches now, up to the 4th by a roundabout fashion. Not really doing much. And Oprimabot, of course, playing random, beautiful creation by Johan Hagelbach. That is very, very interesting to see. And if you ask why do you pick certain bots as opponents for new bots, and I can say, well, I pick interesting ones or ones that play random because random bots tend to add more variety to the game, so it's more interesting to watch them. Now, again, Jacob Knudsen going for the infamous don't build anything else but 2 pylon builds. And yeah, you can imagine how that goes. That is not going to work well because one zealot has got 12 kills already. 12, 13, 14, 15, and can you outproduce one zealot? Probably you can with 1 base, or no, the rogue numbers seem to be declining. 30 kills, the main army is doing damn all here. Nice concave and choke detection, that must be said. But now it can't expand, or it's got some flaw in its build order, I don't know what it is. But this one zealot seems perfectly capable of doing everything it can. Killing probes, killing the nexus, and there goes the nexus, 2 pylons left. And we can all see where this goes. So Jacob Knudsen's first game of tonight is not really that interesting. Jacob Knudsen, and again Jacob Knudsen, because I thought, well, I'd take 2 replays of every bot, new bot. So Jacob Knudsen again as the brown Protoss at the lower left corner. As the blue Zerg, we've got Siege Shu, or the bot is called Overkill. And Overkill is at the moment our only contribution from China, and it's very good. Took 3rd place at CIG last year by surprise and out of the blue, so that's as near as a Royal Road experience that you can get in Brute War API. That's very well done. And again we see 1 pylon and then nothing. So that's even less than last game. Only 1 pylon, and perhaps it will build another as it reaches 17 supply, but it has to be quick because here are the Zerglings. Oh yeah, that's another pylon, and that is, well, doesn't seem to be too good yet. This is going to be a Zergling heavy opening. It does do more, it can use more units, but if it fails with the Zerglings it will tech up a little bit, but in this case not necessary. Jacob Knudsen, sorry for missing you out on the first video, but a little bit of work to do, I should say, at least in the build order department, and the rest will show then. Then we have got something else, and it's called Flashtest, and I don't know if that's a reference to the pro gamer Yong-ho from Korea, the god of war, or if it's some kind of reference to being fast. Again, we've got the random playing Oprimabot, this time as the red Terran, and we've got Flash for the win, or Flash, no, that's on Team Liquid. A Flashtest on as the white Protoss in the top right corner. Going for a lot of minerals, and yeah, pylon, and I'm going to cut it short because this is not going to work. It had a good couple of wins on the on our server, so I wonder what's going wrong here. Perhaps something at my end which messes with the replays, I don't know. But replay should be replay, so I can't really imagine that being a problem on my end. Now again, Flashtest, this time with a pylon and with a gateway, that's much better. At the other end we've got Gambot by Aurélien Lermont from Epita en France. Et Mr. Le Frenchman is going for its usual expand all over the place and have 3 expansions before spawning a spawning pool. So that's very good. Scouting going on, and that I think that looks a lot like University of Alberta bot. Now with the zealots popping up, and that's very well done because a little bit of aggression never hurt anyone except the victim. Now going for a gas and a cyber core, so that's very good. There goes the pool, and there goes the main hatchery. Okay, well, we've got 2 drones, so all is not yet entirely lost, but we'll have to wait and see how this goes. And these zealots are moving in, moving out, taking a lot of damage from one sunken, and I think that this sunken might even hold the field. If it doesn't, oh, and it doesn't, it dies. So that's that. Meanwhile, we've got another drone coming, so we've got 3 drones, one standing around here, one expansion being idle here, and Flashtest going for a Dragoon, going for more Dragoons. Has it got? No, it has just started range, so that's very good. Just moving up to here and killing off this one lava, but this lava is going to morph into an egg, which will extend its life because it would have died by now by the retreating creep. And distracting the Protoss army, and the Protoss army now is going for somewhere else. Going to scout across the map and moving right up to this drone. No, they'll let it live, they'll just scout all the expansions by number, I suppose. And Gambot has been reduced to 2 bases, losing another one. And that's very well done, because no of minerals is 30. What is going on? Again, some info posted to the general chat, that's interesting. Dancing zealots and roving goons. While Gambot has been discovered, goons cleaning it up, and that is very good because they micro well, the build order looks decent, expansion check. Lots of zealots, could do with some upgrades to spend the excess gas, but flash test very good, very well done. 2 base, goon and zealot push, looking very decent, looking very promising. As the start is good, I suppose so will be the rest. Now again, we've got some more replays, and well, let's go into one. I'll talk a bit about that a little bit later. But we've got Crazio as the orange Terran at the top left. At the bottom right, we've got Mr. Travis Shelton as a random, and I'd like to see more from Travis Shelton because you do not see that many bots that start out playing random and doing that in a thoroughly respectable fashion with a respectable win rate of about 40–50%. That's very good. Now being scouted and going for the expansion. Crazio meanwhile going for Marine with the eBay, with the nice choke detection, with the bunker, with the missile turret because it checked something. I don't know what it saw. It saw something, perhaps, no, the gas wasn't up yet. It saw something, and now with the pool, with more drones. And that's a very good opening because, as we all know, Crazio is not the fastest, and somehow it has decided that the enemy might be going air, so lots of turrets and the option to build Goliaths, now going for its expansion. Meanwhile, Travis Shelton at the 3rd base, and that is a little bit like Gambot, and now the eBay has arrived here. Double sunken produced, very good. No combat units yet, 3 sunkens here, that's very impressive. Lair being morphed at the furthest expansion. And perhaps that might be some learning on Crazio's part, that with the lair that Travis Shelton may be doing some kind of Evo chamber. That might even, and another lair. So 1, 2. Got a lot of lairs, and I think that should be checked because one is all you need and the other one is just 450 and 300 minerals and gas lost. Meanwhile, going for something, lots of probes, doing stuff, mining minerals, banking stuff. And okay, we've got a couple of Hydra, so that's very nice. And Lurker aspect. Okay, so perhaps that's the learning bit on Crazio's part, just make a lot of turrets and scanning equipment to deal with eventual lurkers. Here goes the eBay being chased by a lot of angry Zerg units, or a handful I should say. But now, oh, it's all over the map, and Crazio taking its third now, so a 3-base Terran is okay, but if you've got a 6-base Zerg, that's quite something. And there comes some vultures to clean up the circuits, but versus Hydras they don't really fare that well generally. This Hydra's got 1 kill, and the lurkers being scanned, but in the end, versus 3 lurker shots, you need more than 1 vulture. Okay, nice snipe on the drone trying to colonize this base, that's very well done. But if you look at things, you've got a great... oh, this is brilliant. This is a bit like Killerbot by Marian Diveka and Garmbot by Aurélien Lermand put into one. A nice build order, but look at all these units mulling about the place. Zerg now at 125, Terran at 116. Now of 3 bases you can do a lot of things as Zerg, but if every time I see a mass of vultures like this, and of course there is a minefield, of course there's a siege tanks and the scans in the science facility, but as a Terran player I should be getting somewhat afraid by now. Another base for Zerg. Upgrades coming up, very good, lots of more. I suppose every base to be a lair, I don't know. And this vulture sniping a drone and then falling to the Hydras. And this looks to be a Zerg push. And oh god, the minefield. This is going to be bloody because these lurkers seem to have no regard for mines, and I don't know what these 2 drones are doing out here, but and again, as soon as it's finished, morphing into a lair, lot of minerals stacked, and you need more units really, and overlord speed. Okay, so a very decent Zerg build, albeit a bit slow on the aggression, but that's forgivable if you've got an army like this. More hatcheries being built all over the place, and going to have a look at this one because I'm betting that as soon as it's finished, it's going to morph. Yep, there it goes into a lair. So that is a game of lairs, I suppose. And another one, and another hatchery. So you've got a lot of hatcheries, but you haven't got a lot of... well, drone numbers seem to be okay. And now going for a small push up north. Crazio, meanwhile, has reached critical numbers, is now moving out. And while the Zerg army is contesting the main, versus this number of tanks with the scans and with the science vessels, I think you are going to be... oh god, this is a massacre. Crazio still has one of the strongest Terran pushes of all times, and that's mainly because it maxed up to almost maxed on 2 or 3 bases. And this is not the right place to morph lurkers, I can tell you, because these siege tanks are going to shell everything to pieces. Zerg now, well, the production capacity is off the charts really, because there is so much you can do. 2 armor upgrades coming up, only 1 evo chamber, and building more lairs. This is crazy. You should put a stop to that, because now you've got a lair with 1 Hydra and a mech army up to that. The pro drones being killed off, going up to this base for some reason, I don't know. This lurker, and now it seems that Crazio's army is too spaced out to cover everything with scans and the science vessel, which is here. And now these lurkers are being able to do decent damage, because every Terran unit is now sandwiched between lurkers and... oh, that's a pity. Might have done some more damage if it would have kept its head down. But this is basically one long funnel of mech units approaching and being cut to pieces by lurkers. But Crazio now on 5 bases, going for nukes. Okay, this is going to be awesome. Crazio almost never reached the stage where it can nuke something. And I should tell you something about that, because Crazio has been struggling with crashing due to slowing down the game too much. So if you take more than 1 second to render 1 frame of the game, you get disqualified after 10 times you do that, or if you use more than 10 seconds, or if you use a tenth of a second, if you do that about 300 times, you get disqualified as well for that one match. And Crazio has been updating his calculations, so that's very good. So it's no longer slowing down, which means that it can play around with his 200 supply army, trying to kill Zerg, and these drones are all for it, going to have it 3-2 versus 0-2, no weapons upgrade, that's a bit sloppy. But with all these all these drones being built, that's just great. One expansion down the tube, so that's very good. Having a peek at the nuclear silo, lots of command centers, stargates, that's very interesting. Perhaps going for a battlecruiser switch, moving to somewhere, I don't know. And that's the beauty of these bots, they do all sorts of awesome tricks, but you can never be sure what they are up to. And if you look at Crazio, the entire map is now covered in turrets, more being built, turrets, mines. And I do wonder why the nuclear silo is not doing anything. That would have been so awesome to see a nuke. If you have seen the man vs machine matches, you want to have a look at that as well if you want to see some nukes as well. And they were not fired or launched by the human players, so that is something to keep in mind. Now this base holding, and these drones are doing a suicide thing, while they could have mined here. Crazio seeming to be in control because this large mech army is just taking the map, and now drones attacking more turrets, and that's this is one of the moments where I miss that StarCraft 2 unit and building counter, because I'd like to know how many turrets there are, because there are an unholy amount of them, and these science vessels, I don't know where they are patrolling here. Perhaps that's something that Crazio will... Okay, and then more science vessels, that's good. No nukes, and that's a bit of a pity, because, well, who doesn't like nukes? But then again, this mech army is just going to mop up everything. Okay, another missile silo, very good. Going to press the speed button a little bit, because Zerg resistance seems to be all but over. No nuke here as either. Lots of 3-3 tanks and just shelling everything. Zerg down to 2 bases and a lot of overlords. That's a lot of overlords. And these tanks are going for this base first. These Sunkens doing what they can, but with the siege tank range. Crazio playing it out like a pro. that must be total map awareness, because this is everything we can see now. And this is Crazio's view of the map, so that's nearly everything. It can't see this expansion, but otherwise, and that one, but otherwise everywhere there were pylons, turrets and mines all over the place. Yamato battlecruiser energy upgrade, more barracks. What the hell is going on? That is, well, if you've got 5k stack, I suppose you've got to do something, but this is pushing it a little bit too far. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12, 15 barracks, and that's additional barracks because we've also got the one in the main. So 16 barracks, a hell of a lot of factories. This is going to take just a little while. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stargates. Another factory. Another base, and a hell of a lot of turrets, so that's that. These marines are doing the overlord killing, and this one's got 1, this one's got 1, 2. They're not really efficient at it, but hey, what's the rush? You've got it under control, you're no longer timing out by slowing down the game. Crazio, well, again, if it gets a little bit more aggressive before the 150 supply stage, I think it's going to be one of the competitors again for the top slots in tournaments, because it's very good at what it does. It only needs to be a little bit faster, and that's a nice bit of ferrying around. Oh, and here's why the turrets come in handy, because the marines are taking them from one side and the turrets from the other side, so there goes the overlord fleet. Now, these tanks have got everything under control. Crazy now one at 10k, that's really messed up. A lot of barracks, and Travis Shelton eliminated. So Crazio, very well done. Thank you for showing us this game. You need to be a little bit more aggressive and use more nukes, but otherwise it's looking good. Then I had something more. What did I have more? I think I had a tscmoo game somewhere. Or didn't I? Yeah. I had a tscmoo game, because tscmoo has been updating his Terran, and his Terran used to be known for mass nuking things. Now I faced it off against Marian Diveka, the author of Killerbot, winner of the Student StarCraft AI Tournament 2015. tscmoo came in second with his Protoss, so this might be a very good match, and I don't know what tscmoo's latest updates have been all about. He said very little about it. He said, well, I'm trying to do things, new mech builds, but no concrete information has been gained from him. Killerbot going for fast expansion. tscmoo going for barracks and a depot and a bunker. So that's pretty well placed. You can't really go up the ramp if you are bypassing this bunker. With 2 SCVs, with 2 Marines, which will only enter it if no, you can't stand around there. Expansion coming up, and oh, that's going too fast. We've got 2 Zerglings coming up, but with 3 Marines and 2 SCVs behind the bunker. Now the Marines come back to deal with the threat, and now entering the bunker, entering and leaving, and these Zerglings having a bit of the same problem. They want to move in, but see the bunker, all the Marines have moved back, and you get silly things like that. Nothing really happening at this moment, but 2 bases up for Zerg, going for a lair, very interesting, and only one extractor, going for a sunken. That's pretty safe, I suppose, keeping tabs on tscmoo. tscmoo behind this is going for a factory, machine shop first, lots of SCVs, so both going for an economical build, eco-heavy build, should say. So taking stock, more defensive measures, and that is, I think that's a bit of a mistake, because before the Terran army has moved up to here, if you have got 3 sunkens, you can also build a hatchery, and perhaps even 2 if you take into account the mining time not lost by the drones otherwise employed. Going for the Lurker upgrade, very good. That used to be Marian Diveka Killerbot's staple. In one of the builds, it could do either Muta or Lurkers, and the Lurker build was very, very strong. Now tscmoo pushing out with 1 Vulture, and has it got mines? No, not yet. 1 Vulture, a couple of Marines, and a tank. Can do a lot of damage, but these... oh, and moving beyond these eggs, you're going to get backstabbed. But moving back once they see these sunkens, because you can't really, such a small force, kill all these off. Now with the Lurkers, this is going to be an interesting skirmish, but in the end the tank is going down. Vultures killing off a lot of Lings, but now the... well, I don't really think they are wanting to get into things yet, but they don't know what else to do, so they're going to keep mulling around. 3rd base now up by a Killerbot, and here comes the Evo chamber with the armor upgrade, and that's going to be an interesting skirmish in the middle, because neither player waiting for a larger army to take the field, and I do think that you need, yeah, now it comes, but you need some kind of scanning thing. Have you got an eBay? No, not yet, so it's now down to 1 safe-ish Comsat, and nope, 1 tank on the high ground, and now fully out of scan, so that's a bit silly. That is going, no, that's not an eBay either, and that is not an eBay either, so you've got only 1 Comsat, and if it's done, well, it can scan, but you need to be quite fast cleaning up this lurk. No, it's out of range, it's out of range, no, and the scan wears off, so this lurker doing a lot of damage. Meanwhile, Killerbot taking, populating the 3rd, just flooding in more units, building more hatcheries, and there it goes. So now the lurkers have been killed off, and the mines are out, so the mines can deal with lurkers as well. Meanwhile, another eBay up, and perhaps you could get a science vessel. So that's a very close hold by tscmoo. Now pushing itself with a lot of tanks, couple of vultures as infantry, and the infantry of course dealing very well with these Zerglings, and Killerbot in a little bit of a problem, because Lurkers and Zerglings are going to have a bit of a field day stopping a mech push like this, because these vultures are so aggressive in dealing with these Lings that the rest of the mech units can easily deal with the handful of Lurkers that Killerbot can now produce. and scan and being blasted by a Wraith and shelled by these tanks. So very well done, but third base up for tscmoo. That hold of the lurkers here was so close. I think that if that lurker had moved up to here, it could have dealt with the entire base, giving an eco advantage. Fourth base being taken by Killabot, and these lurkers now trying to contain these tanks, but these tanks just being so gruesome with long-range cannons. No upgrades yet, and only 2 scanners. So if you've got a third, if you've got 3 scanners now, so that's going to be a bit of a problem for Zerg, because they don't really dare push in. And I do fear the moment where Killabot is going for defilers, because if you do a small push like this with a couple of swarms, mech armies are going to have a hell of a time beating it, or at least locking it down. And now going for shutting everything down, more wraiths coming up, so no overlord coverage. And this mech push is just inching its way slowly forward. Fourth base for tscmoo, small bit of defense at the base, I like that. Here as well, we've got about 4 supply covering it, and here we've got 4 supply, the Wraithers left. Vulture has scouted out this base and is able to take on some shots on these drones, but otherwise it's now 4 against 4 bases, and with these strong mech units covering this part of the map, now with the possibility of queens or a hive, and that must be for upgrades, because give me a Hydra. Yep, that's going to be the +3 armor upgrade, possibly. Now this mech push is just too strong. The overlords can't really get out, there are Goliaths out, these tanks are too strong, 5 bases for tscmoo. And the hold here versus the lurkers was very close, but other than that you can only say that tscmoo is playing this beautifully, controlling the map, building almost as many turrets as Crazier did last game, going for the expansion now because they're less well defended, just with the entire mech army, and I think that could be something to improve on, just to do things with 2 mech armies at 2 points, or use some drops and tackle things simultaneously. That might be an improvement. Killabot, and here is a lurker below this, defending its bases also, that's very well done. And trying to take back the middle of the map with a couple of tanks, mines, turrets, Goliaths. Although they take a lot of damage, I think this is not going to work out well for the Zerg in the end. Going to speed it up just a little bit, because well, 2 of these macro players not really bent on destroying the other's main base, but just gaining map dominance in a slow and protracted fashion. Will take a lot of time, and yeah, there goes that base. Meanwhile, this base being harassed by raids, but being taken care of by a couple of Hydras and Overlords. More weapons upgrades coming for... oh, that's good in the upgrade department, but tscmoo might be about maxed now, so... 1, 2, 3, 4 base, because these 2 are mine out. 4 eco Terran on a mech base maxed is very, very scary. So now you've got this entire mech army, and if you look at the minimap, you've got the entire mech army moving around. That's a lot of SCVs, because the entire... well, it's quite a sizable army, but there are so many SCVs. Converging upon these 2 bases, 1 tank trying to take out this hatchery, and it will succeed in all probability if this sunken doesn't. Yeah, it does, but of course there are more tanks at the back of it. And although this choke is being defended by the courage of lions and lurkers, it's not going to hold against this fully maxed Terran 3. Oh, 2 only, 2 army. Where are the... okay, well, that's coming. And just upgrading everything. These raids have got 2 attack upgrades already too, so that's well, badly microed, but too big of a force to withstand the Terran pressure. 7 drones have been destroyed, and although this army is not the most effective at killing things fast, it is effective at killing things eventually, and I think that this is going to be a little bit of a problem for the entire field of AIs, that tscmoo is back at his Terran, because Terran can be so strong with the siege tanks and the micro. A little bit faster on the scouting technology might be a good idea, but otherwise this tscmoo is going to be one of the main contenders for... Oh, and Marian Diveka takes off. Goodbye. tscmoo-terran is once again going to be one of the contenders for the prizes this year in the big tournaments, so very well done. Crazio being back on track again too, and I can only say that things are looking very good for the Brood War AI community, because we have seen so many new bots, about 10 new bots in the last month alone, and more being added daily. We get many requests of people saying, well, I want to start my new bot, how do I go about it, and then fooling around with it, eventually loading it up to the server, and all the old guard are coming back and improving their bots, so that's very good news. Marek Gajdos, well, new bot I missed last game, very well done. Get a little bit more eye into the AI, and Jacob Knudsen, very well done as well. Of course, Flashtest was the best bot I saw today, with a very decent Zealot and Dragoon army, with good pathfinding and enemy finding capability. So, all in all, another interesting set of games we've seen today. Thank you for watching. If you want to visit us, visit our website. You can help us out by spreading the word about Brood War AI, post it on Facebook, on Twitter, on anywhere you like. You can even donate money to us, but that's not really the main concern. We do like it to buy new hardware, because our server is a little bit old at the moment, but otherwise than that, we are not a for-profit institution, so yeah, that's about it. So thank you again, and have a good day. Bye bye.